If you have ever experienced or are currently experiencing a man who is emotionally unavailable, a man whose heart is closed to you, who is not giving you the love that you need, we're going to talk about whether he is truly emotionally unavailable or whether there is something else going on and something that you can do about it to fix it. Hello, I am Zach Rohde, and I am here to lead you into creating the relationship of your dreams by learning how to inspire a man into cherishing you using your feminine energy and using what I call feminine communication. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell below and like this video because I'm going to make it a really good one for you. So, emotionally unavailable men. If you have had a man who's not fully given you the love that you need and his heart seems more close to you, it is very easy to write him off as emotionally unavailable. Sometimes this is true. There are men like this. There are men who have really big wounds. There are men who have severe avoidant attachment styles. There are men that are not going to be able to give you the love that you need. And if you have lots of wounds on your end of things, you're going to be more likely to attract those kind of men as well, which is going to be a really unpleasant experience for you. However, a lot of the time there's actually something else going on. And I'm going to illustrate this problem by flipping this around for a minute. Have you ever heard men say that women are just too masculine today? Women are just not able to be submissive. And they complain about it. If you've ever gone on any kind of manosphere, red pill forums, or watched any videos on that, then you know what I'm talking about. There's tons of those men out there. But you probably know that with the right man, a woman is going to be quite submissive. Right? There's two sides to every woman. There's the side where she is much more guarded, much more contained, doesn't really feel that desire to submit to a man. She doesn't feel that safety in her body to fully let go. And then you've got men who are just really, really attractive and they're in their power and you can feel their heart, and women want to submit to them really easily, really naturally. They don't have to think about it. Okay? Two different sides. Well, guess what? It's the exact same thing with men. So you've got men who, with the wrong woman or a woman who's showing up the wrong way, you're going to experience him have his heart closed to you. He's going to be emotionally unavailable, and you're not going to get your needs met. He's not stepping up to fully lead, and you just can't feel that care from him. But if you are the right woman, or I'm going to even make it more accurate because there's so much that you can do here. Like, you are the right woman most of the time, right? There's always going to be incompatibility issues, but it's not so much that you're not the right woman. It's that you don't know how to be the woman that you are, the best version of yourself. Not someone that you're not, but the best version of who you really are. When you don't know how to be that beautiful woman that is inside you, that's inside every single woman, then you are going to be more likely to bring out the emotionally unavailable man. There are a few ways that you can bring out the emotionally unavailable man. Okay. The first thing to check on is, are you being emotionally available yourself? So one thing that women will do is they want a man to be like, we'll call it like vulnerable, like kind of sharing his feelings. Women don't actually want that. Some think that they do because that's better than a man being totally emotionally unavailable, right? At least if his heart is open to you, then you're getting something. You're able to feel his heart. That's good. But the problem is you'd be feeling his heart in a more feminine way, right? You're the one that is supposed to be vulnerable with him. You're supposed to feel his heart where he's leading from his masculine energy and he's giving you care. He's giving you love. You feel his heart open to you. But kind of like father should have his heart open to his daughter, right? A father's not going to be all vulnerable and sharing all of his feelings and all of that stuff, but his heart should be open to her. Now, if you didn't have a great childhood and a great father, you might not have experienced that. So this might just be a theoretical thing for you. My daughter, for example, I'm not sharing all my feelings vulnerably with her, but she can feel that my heart is always open to her. and care. I'm always giving her love. And that is the dynamic. That is the energy that a woman needs. The problem is that if you're wanting him to open up in a more feminine way by being vulnerable, most men are not going to do that. And when they do, you're probably not going to like it that much, especially the more that he does it. It might feel nice at first, but the more that he does it, the more problematic it becomes because it's not what you actually need. However, if you are not being vulnerable, then he is probably not going to have his heart open to you. And this is one of the issues that women have. It's like if you feel unsafe, which is not a feeling, you actually feel anxious, you feel scared, you feel fearful, you are going to guard your heart, and you're hoping that he opens up his heart so that you can feel safe enough to open up your heart. When you do that, you are disempowering yourself. You are actually making yourself into a victim by waiting for something to happen rather than being who you need to be to create change in your world, in your love life. You need to move through that fear and choose to be vulnerable no matter how a man is showing up. You don't wait for him to make you safe. You create your own safety in yourself. You learn how to be vulnerable in the world no matter how other people are showing up or how they're treating you. And of course, that doesn't mean you keep your heart open no matter what, like if a man is being abusive to you. No, you're going to have to protect yourself. I'm not talking about that. But I mean, you need to start out being vulnerable and then you see how men show up. Right? Like I as a man, and I'll just talk about myself back as a single man. I'm married right now and will be forever. But back when I was single, I would show up very differently for women depending on how they would be showing up, right? It's not that I'd be shut down because my heart is always quite open, but I'm not feeling that level of care for a woman if she's not being open in her heart, if she's not being vulnerable, if she doesn't have her heart on her sleeve. So you need to go first. You need to be emotionally available, which is going to inspire a man to be emotionally available. Because think of it this way, like really think about this. If a man had his heart fully open to you and you could feel his care and his strength at the same time, but his heart's fully open in a masculine way, how easy would it be for you to open up your heart and be vulnerable in a feminine way? You would feel so much more relaxed. It'd be easy. So he would be polarizing you into your feminine, into your vulnerability. He would be polarizing the dynamic by creating that safety for you. You can do the exact same thing. Well, the reverse thing. By you being vulnerable, by you being open in your heart, you polarize a man into giving you love, into him being open in his heart, but in a more masculine way. Okay? You have that power. You are a magical being as a feminine woman. I mean, you might actually be quite masculinized right now, but it's within you to be feminine. You're innately feminine underneath whatever guards you have, underneath whatever shields you have, underneath whatever control patterns you have. You are feminine. Your essence is feminine, and you just have to learn how to bring it out. You have to learn how to create that safety for yourself and do it over and over and over again. And then here's what's going to happen. You're going to inspire men into giving you that care, into opening up their hearts in a masculine way and giving you love. You're also, if you're single right now, you're going to attract men whose hearts are just much more naturally open. Like they're already much more polarized and they're able to give you even more love, right? Because if you're single, you want to attract the most masculine, most devotional man you can. If you're in a relationship already, that's okay too, because you can learn how to inspire that man into becoming the man that you need. But you can't just wait and hope and complain. It doesn't work that way. You need to look at yourself and see why you are getting the reflection that you're getting. That's what's going to change things for you. That's the only way that things are ever going to change, is by you fully looking at yourself. The other piece to this is you could fully shift and a man is still emotionally unavailable because you can't control another person. You can have a massive influence on another person, on a man, but you can't truly control them. But by you being feminine, by you learning feminine communication, you learning how to be truly vulnerable, which is what we do in our masterclass. We teach you how. It's what we do in our academy program. It's also what I teach you in my women's dating course. By you learning how to do that, you'll see what kind of man you're dealing with. And if you're single right now, you'll learn that really quickly with every man that you meet. And then you can stop wasting time with the ones that are truly emotionally unavailable. But part of the difficulty here is women don't know, in general, what vulnerability truly is. And I've seen this over and over again. I've seen it with my clients. I've seen it with my followers. Women who think that they have been vulnerable or think that they are being vulnerable, but it's not true vulnerability. A man knows what true vulnerability is in a woman because he has the instinct to sense it. And it doesn't have to be something that he understands consciously. When a woman is being truly vulnerable, his heart opens up and he wants to give her care. Right? The first time that my wife was ever vulnerable with me, I had never responded well to her, crying, sharing her feelings, telling me what the problem is, trying to fix things, trying to be vulnerable in all of these different ways, but trying to be open in all these different ways. And I just didn't feel any care. I didn't respond very well either. I had really bad behaviors, and that's on me, right? My behaviors are my responsibility, but that's what happened. The first time that she was truly vulnerable with me, and part of that is probably because I had actually shifted in some ways to be safer as a man and more devotional as a man. The first time that she shifted, I felt so connected to her. My heart was fully open to her in a masculine way where I just wanted to provide her safety. I wanted to provide her care. I wanted to provide her reassurance. I wanted to provide her the best version of myself that I could be. And this took like 4 years, 3 years in our marriage, roughly, and 1 year of us dating before she had ever shown that vulnerability. I have dated many, many women, hundreds of women. And I'd never experienced that before with a woman. I'd experienced many women who've cried with me. Many, oftentimes because I've been a jerk, honestly. I just haven't been the devotional man that I really do try to be now. I just didn't know how. Didn't have the stuff that I'm teaching you, and I didn't have the stuff that I teach men. But I never experienced that true vulnerability. It's rare. It's so rare. Do not believe if you are not getting good responses from men or from a man when you think you are being vulnerable, you almost definitely are not being vulnerable. You are not actually communicating in a truly feminine way, in a truly heart-open way that inspires a man to care. Because if you were, then a man would be caring. And yes, I will say this too, there is that rare chance that you're with a narcissist or a sociopath or all the men that you've dated in the past are like that, but that is very unlikely statistically. And if that has actually been your experience, then that means that you are attracting those kind of men and repelling the devotional men, which probably means, again, that you actually aren't being truly vulnerable. Because if you were, you'd be attracting much more devotional men who are much better for you. So just make the assumption, a very fair assumption, that you're not being vulnerable and that you don't know how to be truly vulnerable, especially not when you're scared, right? Because when you're scared, your heart's going to be more closed and it's going to be 10 times harder to be vulnerable. This is what you need to learn, because this is what shifts everything for you. When you learn how to be vulnerable, when you learn how to take off all of the guards around your heart, when you learn how to fully let go of control, when you learn the words and energy of feminine communication, that's when you start learning how to inspire a man into cherishing you, into taking care of you in the way that you need. And he becomes very emotionally available for you because you are very emotionally available for him in a feminine way, in the way that activates a man's masculine instinct. And I teach all of this for you. I show you exactly how to do this. I spell it out for you. I give you actual examples. I make it crystal clear. I show you what to do when things aren't working. I show you in my women's dating course. I show you in my masterclass. And then, of course, I show you incredibly deeply in my academy program and will troubleshoot with you, with my team of experts, my coaches, until you make all of these shifts, until you're inspiring a man into stepping up and cherishing you the way that you need, and he becomes fully emotionally available to you. All of my links to my offers are below this video in the description. Make sure that you go there, click on a link, the one that calls to you the most, start with that one, and start changing your life. It's fully up to you, and you can fully do it. Just take action.